しよう正義の心で合体だ大空高く火花を散らし平和のために悪を打つ大きか受け立てた不滅のマシンビッタロボ
2017. You know what that means, right? Any number of things, honestly. Especially since it seemed like the entertainment world has nothing left but to ride on the anniversaries of every single franchise ever. Every year, there's some kind of new 23rd anniversary of when this scene was shot, or 28th anniversary of when this guy put his shoe on in this movie, and it became an iconic shoe putting on sequence. Anniversaries, all the time, yada yada. Really, the only anniversaries that you need to celebrate are your 10th, and this goes for weddings and all that kind of stuff too. Your 10th, 50th, and your 100th. Those are the only ones that matter. After that, or anything other than that, doesn't matter. Insignificant. Not important, not a big deal. So, to celebrate an actual important anniversary, much like how we started out with Ultraman's 50th anniversary, this whole year is Go Nagai's 50th year anniversary as a published manga artist. He started in 1967. Who is Go Nagai? Well, Go Nagai is not only my personal favorite manga artist, but he's also one of the most influential manga artists of all time. Credited with creating and pioneering the ecchi genre with his Shameless School manga, and also creating the super robot genre with Mazinger Z. He's been cited as an inspiration to names like Hideaki Anno and Kentaro Miura, creators of Evangelion and Berserk, and was instrumental in pushing the boundaries of how far things could be pushed in anime and manga, to the point where they are today, where you can literally just have severed heads and limbs and tits being ripped off. It's just not a big deal. That's just anime now. And that's all thanks to Go Nagai. We have that kind of stuff, thanks to him being the guy that says, you know what, I'm going to put what I want in manga, and no one is going to tell me otherwise. It's that kind of, rebellious attitude against the mold, and seeing how far we can really start moving. It's one of the reasons that I not only like him as an artist, but also as a person in general, and see him as someone that we should all take a little page from. Just don't take one of his manga pages out of the actual book. That's sacrilege. You will die. I will. Now, Go Nagai was well known for his science fiction, horror, and erotic, but he got to start doing simple gag and parody. Man, he did this for a long time, and after slugging it out independently and sending it to so many publishers, and it was rumored that apparently his mom would write letters to the publishers telling him not to accept his work because she didn't want him to be a manga artist, because, being an artist is not a surefire career profession, as I'm sure plenty of people have been told that are now successful artists. But, the whole starving artist stigma is dumb. But you know what? There's starving people in almost every other type of profession. So it's literally it's all a matter of your hard work and what lucky breaks you can get. For Go Nagai, his lucky break came when his work was recognized and picked out by Shotaro Ishinomori, who was known as the king of manga. He saw his work in Shonen Sunday magazine. Now, working with Ishinomori helped Go Nagai improve his art quality and style, but I'd say most of all, it helped with his storytelling ability. Ishinomori, who himself was an assistant to Osamu Tezuka, the god of manga at one point, was a bold and different thinker himself. His stories brought constant questions of what we call life, and, do machines have feelings? What exactly defines a living being? That kind of stuff. A lot of stuff that we still think about and is still relevant today. Most of Ishinomori's stories focus on that kind of stuff. Stories like Cyborg 009 and Kamen Rider and Kikaida. All those had these underlying themes. Some of them subtle, some of them not very subtle at all. Some of them were very shoved in your face. Kikaida. Anyway, not that that's a bad thing, though. So, like I was saying, and I know Nagai specifically was an assistant on Cyborg 009. I know he did lots of the backgrounds for that manga, especially. So I would say that not so much in Go Nagai's earlier work, but definitely in his later work and the work that is more popular and known for, that influence definitely shows. Not necessarily in the same direction, but I think, like I said, it opened up the gates for pushing what a story can say and making it so that mangas don't have to be just these funny little short stories or whatever. Not that they can't be. They can be these entertaining little cute gags, but they can also be these epic, well thought out, soul-crunching stories. And that's what Go Nagai specializes in my opinion anyway. And not just my opinion, most people who know spit about manga will tell you the same thing. After working with Ishinomori for a number of years, an opportunity came up to work for Shonen Jump magazine, who was just getting started at the time and was desperately trying to get new writers and talent so that they could compete with the other magazines that were already out. And so this forced Go Nagai for the first time he had to take what he was doing, which was just these little one-shot gag joke comics, and make one big coherent story that could be serialized week after week or month after month. I forget exactly which one it is. I think it's monthly for this particular magazine. And so he did this with, which most people say is his breakout work, and I'd agree, would be Shameless School, which in itself, it started out as another kind of his normal stuff, but it did have kind of a more, I don't want to say erotic, but certainly a more risque and pushy feel to it. And it had lots of perverse images, but it wasn't anything like, it wasn't anything super raunchy or dirty or like hardcore sex or anything like that. It was just, cute little perverse humor, whatever. It's like super tame by today's standards. You wouldn't think anything of it. But then, it was appalling in its first run in like 1968, just a year after he had gotten started. And the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association, because lots of kids in school are reading this stuff, and it takes place in school, but like they barely do any damn schoolwork, really. They were really against this. They were trying really hard to shut Go Nagai down, to get his work pulled, to get everything canceled, and, just making things a living hell from him. They tried to label him like a public enemy, this nuisance. I think he was on a couple of TV shows where, not he himself, but, it was like on TV, people taking shots at him. But Go Nagai also had a very damn loyal fan base, and a fan base that could identify with his work and just enjoyed his work and liked how it was different and went a little bit past that line, that safe zone that everyone else stuck to for fear of sales or being, branded a public menace. Like, what is this, J. Jonah Jameson? Like, are they going to print articles about Go Nagai in the Daily Bugle about how he's such a menace to society? Like, it's so silly. And see, this got turned around and it got smacked back in their face, because Go Nagai took that. He basically put an exaggerated form of the PTA in his manga Shameless School, and that's when things actually started to take a turn, but not in the way that they wanted. So yeah, he cut all the perverse humor and all that stuff, and instead it turns out to be this giant war where kids are getting slaughtered and killed, teachers are getting gunned down and murdered and maimed, and the PTA is also getting murdered. Like, it's this giant, all of a sudden it turns from this dark, super gory war that happens. And like, Go Nagai does not pull any punches when it comes to violence, and like, he's known for this now, but like, this is where it first shows. He doesn't give a fuck if he's got to show kids getting cut in half, or all kinds of good stuff. If you're a gore hound or if you crave violence, then you're gonna love his stuff. Like in Devilman, a baby gets impaled in its mother's arms. It's terrible, and he doesn't give a shit if you are too sensitive for that. No, you're gonna read it. You're gonna see that. He mixes that, that real world harsh reality into things. A lot of his stories don't have happy endings. It's like, the main heroes can lose, and they can lose, and that's it. The world can end. And like I mentioned Hideaki Anno and Miura before, and you can tell how they kind of adapted that too, how they liked that storytelling, because none of those stories have happy endings either. Well, Berserk doesn't have an ending yet, but nothing in it is happy. Everything that is happy is taken away. The same with lots of things in Go Nagai's work, and that's how this first early one started. It started out all happy and nice. You got to love the characters. Then everyone dies. They all kill each other. And all because a bunch of oversensitive parents couldn't keep their fucking yaps shut and just let people enjoy an entertaining story. And it became even more entertaining. So I guess you can almost thank them. You can thank them for pushing the guy to push back and start really making a statement with what he was doing. And from then on, it was nothing but I wouldn't say nothing but success. But his trail of success would have its first little glow there. He started to really push forward after this. And so, that's why for the rest of this year, we're going to take a look at some of his most well-known and popular works. Well, when I say well-known, I mostly mean well-known in Japan. Go Nagai's stuff is literally almost unheard of in Western territories. And I mean unheard of. Like, if you mention an anime or manga to someone and they might be like, oh yeah, I think I've heard of that. No, everyone I've ever mentioned these titles to, besides a select few, has just been like, what? Like, who is... I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that, ever. And it's been around for longer than half the shit that they like, that anyone likes, and it's usually you can find some Go Nagai influence in almost anything you watch, especially if it's a Gainax or Trigger production. It's everywhere, littered everywhere. So I'm gonna educate, and you guys go and learn something about one of the world's most historic and influential manga artists. All this year, I'll probably do one, I don't want to say review, one learning. We'll do one learning a month. We're going to take a look at each of his works, you know, maybe a manga or an OVA based off a work that he did. Something. Anyway, I've already got the list picked out. I think everyone will enjoy it. This episode, not really an episode. I mean, it's an episode, but it's more just an introduction to Go Nagai and why he's so important and what we going to do to celebrate his golden year. I already know there's like a cool concert that's gonna play all the themes and music from the animes based off him, and I know there's a nice Mazinger Z and Devilman figure coming out from SH Figure Arts. I'm sure there's gonna be all kinds of stuff, and hopefully maybe some new animes or I don't know, mangas that have been officially translated and can come to the US and Canada. Yeah, maybe that could happen. That would be cool. That'd be nice. Anyway, get ready.
Manga Z 無敵の力は僕らのために正義の心をファイルだ飛ばせていてロケットパンチ今だ出すんだブレストファイヤーマジンゴマジンゴマジンガー 原人全滅だ。走れバンバンバンバン、走れバンバンバンバン、ビッグシューターは風より速い。ビルダーバンバンバンバン、ビルダーバンバンバンバン、バラバラババンバンバンバンバンバンバンバンバンバンバン、腕が飛び出す、足が飛び出す、カモン磁石の威力だ、鋼鉄キング。デビルマン、デビルマン、裏切り者の名を売って全てを捨てて戦う男。デビルアローは超バン、デビルヤーは地獄耳、デビルウィンが空を飛び、デビルビーマー熱光線、悪魔の力